storage, mineral extraction, and energy storage development. That integration is part of the Missouri State Energy Plan. If you are interested in taking part in that, there's an opportunity with the Division of Energy. I'm really excited for our next presenter and our partner, Stephen Mills, the Vice President of General Manager of Spire Missouri West, is here as a fantastic sponsor and will introduce our next speaker.
Guess I'll be the first one to say good afternoon. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Meg McAllister, who is the Regional Administrator for EPA's Region 7 office here in Kansas City. You know, as part of Spire's commitment to be a carbon neutral company by mid-century, we voluntarily participate in the EPA's Methane Challenge program to reduce methane emissions. You know, as I was reviewing Meg's bio, she's definitely homegrown. Born in Kansas and raised in both Kansas and Missouri. She received her bachelor's degree from the University of Kansas. Can we pause there? I think there was as I was talking to her, she was still basking in the glory of a win a few weeks ago. So after University of Kansas, she attended UMKC School of Law, where she earned her Juris Doctorate with an emphasis in urban, land use, and environmental law. After law school, Ms. McAllister and her husband moved to Sonoma County, California, where she served on board of directors for Sonoma County Conservation Action and worked on environmental campaigns in local government. And upon her return to the Midwest, back home, she has continued to serve as an advisor and strategic thinker in areas including environmental, health, and social improvement initiatives, as well as communication strategies. Meg resides in Kansas City with her husband, 3 children, and a rescued greyhound. She enjoys running, hiking, and exploring the outdoors. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Meg McAllister.
Hi, I was all excited to be the first to wish you good afternoon, but you stole my thunder. I fully acknowledge that I am standing between all of you and lunch, but it sounds like you had a really good agenda today. I was just looking through it, and I wish I had been able to come a little bit sooner so that I could hear more about everything we have going on. Hi, I'm Meg McAllister. I'm the EPA Region 7's Administrator. It's really good to be here representing the Biden-Harris administration and, of course, Administrator Whedon. I'd like to thank Josh Campbell and the Missouri Energy Initiative for inviting me to this year's Midwest Energy Policy Series on infrastructure. Also, thanks to the KC Chamber for supporting the event and your amazing facilities here at Union Station. It's really, this is such a beautiful room. The Biden-Harris administration and EPA Administrator Michael Regan are committed to U.S. energy security by building a resilient power sector that will provide affordable, clean, and reliable electricity. The power sector is central to our economy and our lives. We've all seen in recent international news just how devastating it is when communities' power grid is destroyed or fails. And America's economic growth and competitiveness rely on a healthy, resilient power sector. The administration is committed to working with you in building resiliency in the power sector as we tackle the climate crisis and build a healthier environment for all people. We are focused on reducing emissions and growing a clean energy economy in a way that creates jobs, advances environmental justice, and delivers clean water, land, and air for Americans. Sessions like this offer us an opportunity to share our priorities, our concerns, and our ideas, and I think this is essential to progress. And it is the foundation for my efforts at EPA Region 7 to reconnect us with stakeholders and communities. Since President Biden appointed me this past December, I've been working with the Region 7 team to renew and build new connections to ensure people have a seat at the table. The conversations are sometimes difficult, but meaningful discussions often are. Your expertise, insights, and innovation are vital, and we need you at the table with us. Today's policy series has brought together leaders and experts from across the Midwest who are focused on the opportunities and challenges in the power sector. You are sharing experiences and discussing strategies and actions needed to build a resilient and clean energy future. The power sector is as critical to small rural communities as it is to large municipalities like Kansas City. And here in Region 7, the people who face an unequal health burden from older coal-fired power plants are in small rural communities and others with historical environmental justice concerns. And while we are seeing improvements and leadership in the power sector that is reducing pollution, the fact is power plants remain the largest stationary sources of harmful pollutants like nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide. In 2023 alone, projections indicate power plants will emit more than 1.2 billion tons of these pollutants. 1.2 billion tons. Every year, pollution from power plants causes premature deaths, tens of thousands of new asthma cases, thousands of heart attacks, and billions of lost school and work days. Communities located near these plants are concerned about the negative health effects. Many of these communities already carry an unequal share of the burden. In fact, more than 2,600 fossil fuel fired plants, or 73% of the nation's fossil fuel fired generation capacity, are in communities of color or low-income communities. Some of our states and Region 7 are increasingly moving to clean, renewable energy. Yet coal remains a significant source for electricity. So here are some percentages for you. In 2020, 31% of electricity demand in Region 7 was met through wind. Here's a breakdown by state. Iowa was 59%. That's the third highest wind producer in the country. Kansas was 43.5%. Missouri, 4.7%, and Nebraska was 23.1%. Also in 2020, 45% of electricity demand in Region 7 was met through coal. Iowa was 22%, Kansas, 31%, Missouri, almost 71%, and Nebraska, 50%. While some people might wonder why renewable energy production is increasing here in the Midwest, it seems clear that the conditions are right for these changes. And after all, Midwesterners are practical. We've enjoyed common sense solutions. And just last week, I read a news story out of Nebraska about electric pickups. I don't know if everyone saw this, it's on NPR. The story explored what the new electric pickup trucks that are in the market today would catch on in rural Nebraska. One Nebraska farmer interviewed for the story said that farmers don't shy away from what's new if they think it's going to work, because innovation has been a good thing in agriculture. In the same story, an owner of a rural internet service company said he was considering electric trucks for his pickup fleet. The drivers usually travel less than 150 miles a day, which is well within the 320 to 400 mile range of these new e-trucks. So it made sense to him. When new innovations work and the economics make sense, people here in the Midwest adopt them. I think that's what we're seeing within the power sector as well. Wind energy and solar, they simply work and are increasingly more economical. Over the past 2 decades, the cost of renewable energy technology has plummeted, making it competitive with existing coal and gas generation. The average cost of wind has declined by 70%, while the cost of utility scale solar has declined by 80% since 2010. Today, renewable energy is the fastest growing form of electricity, and new solar and wind projects have dominated the new power plant construction queue recently. Solar generation has grown 100 times since 2010, and wind has grown 300%, and both of those achieving record paces. The power sector is becoming cleaner here in the Midwest and across the country because the economics are there. However, a lot of work remains to transition to an increasingly clean energy future by building a resilient and reliable energy infrastructure. Coal power plants are getting long in the tooth, with roughly 80% of capacity more than 30 years old. Their ability to compete with newer technologies just isn't viable. To be competitive in the future, the power sector is investing in proven innovations. Sharing our experiences and the effects we see here in the heartland is essential to tackling climate crisis, our energy security, and public health needs. Your experiences, your concerns, and your ideas are all really important, and EPA Region 7 is listening. We must find a way to work together and build resilient, sustainable power for our communities. If we don't, I'm really concerned that our vulnerabilities will be laid bare at a time when it's too late. The Biden-Harris administration is working with states and local communities to address these vulnerabilities. This means additional money, resources, and time dedicated to tackling this challenge. Embedded in our work is a commitment to address environmental equity and justice concerns. For example, the Justice 40 initiative will deliver at least 40% of the overall benefits from federal investments in climate and clean energy to communities with equity concerns. And the bipartisan infrastructure law provides us with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fund resilient infrastructure. The bipartisan infrastructure law, or bill, as we say every day, is making the largest investment in clean energy infrastructure in American history by devoting around $60 billion over the next several years on clean energy infrastructure. The investment will modernize our power grid by building and upgrading thousands of miles of resilient transmission lines to reduce outages and energy costs and facilitate the expansion of clean energy. It will invest in energy efficiency and clean energy improvements in our homes, schools, businesses, and communities to make them cleaner and more affordable. And it will fund new programs to support the development, demonstration, and deployment of cutting-edge clean energy technologies to accelerate our transition to a clean energy economy while also creating good-paying jobs and investing in manufacturing in communities across the country. Biden-Harris administration has charged the Department of Energy with identifying ways to invest these funds through state, local, and tribal governments, as well as clean energy companies, utilities, and others. EPA is committed to working with you to ensure the investments protect public health with innovations that lead to clean air, safe water, and healthy land. EPA is at the heart of the President's ambitious agenda, and the agency is pursuing rulemaking with a focus on increased transparency, providing regulatory certainty for power sector investments, and reducing the complexity of compliance in a way that can enhance market and price stability. As outlined with the state of progress being made in Region 7, we recognize our efforts are occurring at a time when states, power companies, and communities are already taking ambitious steps to reduce power sector pollution and accelerate deployment of clean energy technologies. The changes that are already occurring here in Region 7 prove that cleaner, renewable energy is affordable and reliable. And these are sound, long-term investments for the power sector. We can continue to make progress if we all have a seat at the table and we are open to share and to listen and to learn from each other. I share EPA Administrator Regan's vision for building strong community ties through connecting and organizing. And this administration will work with you to continue building a resilient, clean energy infrastructure that protects public health. We'll do that through innovation and hopefully by connecting with you. So as I acknowledged, I'm standing between you and lunch, so I will wrap up. But thank you for having me. I really do hope that you'll all connect with Region 7 as you're able. And I look forward to seeing what's in store for all of us as we move forward. Thank you so much.
All right, so as the administrator said, next